Hello, guys. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Today, our story from the user Confused Fella, and it is called, Is There No Coming Back? It feels like my long-term relationship now has an expiry date. Male 32 years old, female 31 years old. Story. I and my partner have been together for 9 years. It feels like our relationship is moving towards its final legs after recent life events of engagement, buying a house, losing our dog, her realization of not actually wanting to get married after changing her mind, and talk of us not wanting to only sleep with only one person for the rest of our lives. I now feel like we are just cruising through life together with little to no intimacy. I'm confused about where things go from here. Has anyone experienced a long-term relationship scenario like this? What did you do to come back stronger and reignite the spark? Long version, early to mid-on in our relationship, we discussed the idea of marriage, and both landed on the idea that it wasn't needed in our relationship long-term. I was probably more open to the idea of marriage, but it wasn't a big deal to me as I don't hold marriage as a requirement. Fast forward to year 7 of the relationship, post-COVID, my partner, let's call her Ruby, started to drop hints of wanting to get married and talked about how nice it would be. A symbol and gesture of commitment. I thought this was odd, given her past views, our previous conversations, and her role models of marriage not being the best. Her parents divorced when she was young, and her mom divorced a second time too. However, the hints and talk of marriage went on for a year, and as they did, I got excited and organized a ring and planned the proposal. I popped the question overseas toward the end of our 8th year together. Ruby said yes. We announced it to friends and family, and I'm over the moon. She's all giddy and happy too, or so it seems. Once the initial excitement passes, Ruby becomes self-conscious and weird about marriage. She doesn't like the concept of a fiancé, people talking about our marriage, and the idea of marriage. We openly talk about this, and Ruby decides to talk to a therapist. I support her in this and also tell her we can have a couple session if this helps. A few months later, we discover our dog of 8 years has kidney disease. Ruby and I love this dog with all our hearts. She means the world to us. This dog has been a constant source of happiness and joy in our lives. This is relevant to my post because I start to see Ruby change a bit while this is going on. We end up buying a place, which is largely driven by Ruby. She has a very well-paying job. I don't do badly myself and feels like it's a sound investment. And better than renting, we move in, and shortly after our dog sadly loses her fight and passes on. We're both devastated, but we are there for one another. A month passes, and Ruby opens up about her therapy sessions and what she's discovering about herself. She mentions several things. She's worried that she's the only girl I've been with, and is concerned about me not having sexual encounters or experiences with other women, and that I'm missing out, and should explore this aspect of life. She's had other partners before me in casual flings. I have thought of what it would be like to sleep with other women, but I have pretty bad anxiety, and don't think I could go through with it. Secondly, she doesn't think she truly wants to get married and attributes the earlier idea of marriage and buying a house to our dog, the world feeling small with COVID, and becoming a bit complacent with life. I'm a bit taken aback by this, as it was she who drove these pounds, and I felt a bit blindsided after becoming invested and happy in the ideas. However, we worked through this, and I don't see the need for marriage, and I'm not attached to the house or owning. Finally, she mentions that she did some inner soul-seeking and doesn't think I can be the only person she sleeps with for the rest of her life. We talk about all of this, go to couples therapy, and we make progress on marriage and our general relationship. However, the progress drops off after a few months when we start touching on topics such as sleeping with others and sexual fantasies. We land on the point of not wanting to hurt one another's feelings or damage our relationship if we had to go down the path of sleeping with others. Year 9 of the relationship comes about. We now seem to be cruising through life with a cycle of work, going out to eat and drink, spending some time together here and there, and doing our own hobbies. We have a huge mortgage and both regret buying the house. We haven't had sex in 6 months. I think the emotional connection between us has been impacted by the past year of events. Neither of us tries to initiate, and we haven't talked about it. It now seems like a taboo subject, but we've always been open about it beforehand and good at communicating. I'm not sure what will happen, but it feels like we're waiting for the straw to break the camel's back type thing. I think we need to go back to couples therapy again, but I think we might hit the same brick wall again. Has the relationship just run its course? Has anyone had issues such as this and come back as a stronger couple? Comment 1, I'm sorry for your situation. To be honest, sounds like you both are still together just because of the house. Everyone is different, and maybe things will improve. But honestly, maybe breaking up would be in your best interest. Comment 2. When I read the "you should fuck other women" comment, I stopped reading. This relationship is over. Comment 3. You can go to counseling, but you may just want to sell the house and move on. Update. Readers, thank you for your comments. Although not all of them are pleasant to me, yes, I understand that half a year without intimacy is a good reason to think about the advisability of further relationships. We still live together, but we put our house up for sale to get rid of the mortgage. By the time the house is sold, perhaps something will change in our relationship, and we will move into a rented apartment together. If not, then you will have to start all over again, but separately from each other. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. See you again.